И вот мы снова в игре Slay the Princess. Я, кстати, хочу заметить, что здесь разных вариантов и вариантиков пути к одной концовке или к совсем разным, их оказывается реально куча, их много. Вот. Поэтому то, что мы увидим здесь, хоть я стараюсь выбирать довольно разные варианты ответа, это означает лишь то, что между ними мы пропускаем целую кучу разных промежуточных вещей. Поэтому это не означает, что я сыграл 3 раза. Первый раз короткий, когда я просто взял и убил. Второй раз вот мы запутались, так сказать, в срединности. Ни туда, ни сюда, потом отказ. И вот начинаем сейчас, что на этом ты увидел все основное содержимое. Нет, это не так. Поехали. Да, я здесь, чтобы убить ее. Если этого не сделать, миру придет конец. Итак. Но убивать принцесс как-то неправильно ведь?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
Угу. А, ты не думал, что я могу быть и не против конца
Of
света?
course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
Ладно, молча идем к хижине.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Пройти в хижину.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Войти в подвал. Посмотрим вначале.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Итак. Я здесь, чтобы спасти тебя истина, и есть. Я здесь, чтобы спасти тебя ложь. То есть ты как бы обозначаешь, что ты лжешь. Прикольно, вот это здорово. Эй, я здесь вроде как, чтобы убить тебя.
You must have the wrong address.
Great job, you've given away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero.
Вот опять
Walk down the
принцесса.
stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. You were joking about coming to kill me, right? Do you think you could get me out of these chains?
Посмотрим, что я могу сделать. Осмотреть цепи.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake.
Наверняка.
No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Итак, два варианта ответа. А если ключа нет, у тебя еще есть идеи? И я посмотрю наверху, это возможность, кстати, будет взять кинжал. Нет, в этот раз мы его не возьмем. А если ключа нет, у тебя есть еще идеи?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
Надо же.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the
Ого.
click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
Так, попробовать открыть
You
дверь.
try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
Кто-то типа помог нам, да? Мгм. Эй, выпусти меня отсюда.
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Но теперь наш кинжал там. С кинжалом, кстати, иначе она с нами общалась. И... Да. Вернуться вниз.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to.
Да, так оно.
Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
Охренеть.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal.
Угу, это вот те невидимые доброжелатели. Ага.
It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Наверняка не понравится, но я хочу увидеть, что будет. Спасти принцессу, да.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place.
А если бы мы отрезали где кисть, мы бы, наверное, смогли сдвинуть кандалы, а не лишать такой части руки. Ладно.
You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm.
Ну, это было бы не совсем так, ну ладно.
Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal.
Да, я заметил.
No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Ну, не зря же она здесь заключена, просто тебе не повезло в этот раз. Я не собирался убивать ее.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Идти к закрытой двери.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
У меня вот что по курсору, странное ощущение было, там он в виде, как бы это, моей руки, ну, кисти. Что вот сейчас по рисунку? Кто я, блин, такой?
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Так, варианты ответа, которые нам предоставляет игра. Они шикарны. О, предупредить ее, смотри. Есть предупредить. Да, предупредить ее.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Итак. Сопротивляться.
Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
Вот, что я говорил. Вот эта вот кисть, это курсор. Он просто не отображается у меня в настройках записи. Вот, у меня еще возникли сразу сомнения, кто, блин, я.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
А, это она убить нас будет. Будет нас убить, понятно.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Глава 2. Девица. А, у меня там была глава 2. Кошмар. Заметь.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
У меня уже был такой диалог. Я с ним заново это говорить не буду. Идем к хижине.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Посмотрим, что сейчас будет.
If only you knew what you did to us, you villain. Excuse me? Forget he said anything. But he is a villain. He made our beloved brutally take our life last time. He's trying to keep us apart, but he won't be able to withstand the power of our love.
О, в прошлый раз у нас был параноик. После того, как мы поступили, как поступили. А сейчас, поскольку мы стремились освободить принцессу, к нам присоединился голос Воздыхателя.
Last time? What are you talking about? I think he just likes to hear the sound of his own voice. Let's try to ignore him. I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed.
Let me speak from my heart.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
Итак, пройти в хижину.
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
А если бы я с параноиком пришел бы в хижину, тут бы было... Ну, с голосом параноика в голове из второй серии, тут было бы что-то тогда еще другое. Блин, как же здорово, а?
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Вот, я очень хочу увидеть себя, потому что у меня большие сомнения, человек ли я. Ты не упомянул зеркало на стене.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. I'm sure the princess would tell us there was a mirror if she were up here. In which case she'd be lying to you because, again, there isn't a mirror.
Интересно. Так, варианты ответа. Я хочу посмотреть на себя, поглядеть, насколько я красавец, да, просто. Давай просто подойти к зеркалу.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Вытереть зеркало.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
Если у нас торчит перо, если у нас хоть одно перышко не на месте, ёлы-палы. Ладно, взять клинок.
You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. I suppose if we're to play the role of dashing knight, we need an equally dashing sword. That way she'll know we can defend her from her enemies. Hopefully it doesn't put her on edge. There's no use arguing over motivations right now. It's good that you took the blade. You'll need it to do your job.
Все, входим в подвал. Достаточно голосов.
The door to the basement creaks open,
Всё другое.
revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight. But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I think we're in love. Okay, I'm with you that we should be doing whatever we can to save her, but saying we're in love is a bit much, don't you think? We don't even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall. My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment. You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit. Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
О, блин, это очень здорово.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Что вы не вернетесь, да? Я эти нюансы отражаю все-таки.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing. And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. You've been here before, haven't you?
Он тоже подметил.
That's right, villain. And you killed us. Well, she killed us. Only because he made us try and kill her, it was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty. And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time.
Понятно.
We damned a whole world, but everything reset.
Да.
Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever, especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible.
Немножко яснее стало.
Horrible for you, maybe, but we've been given another opportunity to sweep her off her feet and treat her like the lady she is.
Но, конечно, извините, Воздыхатель, несмотря на все эти напыщенные фразы, тупой.
Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure we want to rescue her? We never saw a world end, and now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever been. I shan't let anyone convince us otherwise.
Угу.
Are you listening to him? He's lost it. Don't let him distract you. Just do your job.
Так. Ты убила меня в тот раз, и это было очень больно. Зачем ты так поступила?
I'm sorry. Didn't you want me to?
Вообще не хотел.
Did we? We warned her of the cruel forces seizing our body. That's practically telling her to kill us. She is our beloved, and she made the choice to free us of our misery, to show us mercy and make the best decision for everyone. She made the best decision for her. Don't be so quick to assign kindness. You're just opening yourself up to manipulation.
Мне придется отрезать твою руку снова. Это было не очень сложно в прошлый раз.
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done. What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird?
Ну, у меня в голове двусмысленности, так что извини, я не буду сейчас комментировать и шутить.
She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel. No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behavior and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted. So go ahead and slay her.
Итак. Я должен спросить, ты уничтожила мир после того, как убила меня?
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips. Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
Ага. Так, нет, я не хочу конца света. Мне нет дела до судьбы мира. И если честно, мир отстой, люди подобны чуме, и я надеюсь, что ты принесла медленный мучительный конец всем. Промолчать. Я не хочу конца света.
Then I didn't end the world.
Тогда я не уничтожила мир. Зашибись.
See, she didn't confess anything. She is innocence itself. Not so sure.
Итак, что случилось после того, как я умер?
You died, and now we're talking.
Ага. Так, и что же будет, если мы ее убьем или спасем? Эх, поскольку я не собираюсь как бы по понятным причинам делать там 4-я серия и так далее, я буду наслаждаться, проходить, выбирать всякие разные кучу вариантов сам, то... Это сделаем. Итак, на самом деле у меня тут только один выбор. Убить принцессу или спасти принцессу для этой серии. Ну, поскольку принцесса это все-таки очевидное зло, давай ее убьем.
Blade in hand, you run the princess down. Wait, no! You barbarian, what do you think you're doing? But you ignore the pleas of the foolish little voice and press on. The princess's eyes grow wide with terror as you approach, but she does absolutely nothing to stop you.
Повертим мышкой для картинки такой. Ага.
Your blade pierces her heart, and she collapses pathetically to the ground.
I'm sorry. Did I do something wrong?
No, my love, you did nothing wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not you.
I'm going to die now. I think that's what you want.
And just like that, she's dead. And the world is saved. Thank you for seeing this through. I know it must have been difficult.
Я получил достижение Леди Киллер. Убейте невинную или невиновную можно перевести.
I feel sick. Sick? You took part in the murder of the fairest creature that's ever lived. And you merely feel sick. I, for one, am absolutely distraught. Grief-stricken. Inconsolable. You'll get over it. You just saved everyone. Get over it? You smarmy ass. There's nothing in the world worth getting over it for. We might as well just end it all. You raise the blade, aiming the point directly towards your heart. Excuse me? No, you absolutely do not do that.
И, кстати, насчет перышка, что было, когда мы стояли у типа зеркала. Меня кое-что смутило не только в наших руках, когда их видел в прошлый раз, но и дальше. Сейчас я вижу, что да, мы бы могли это назвать, пусть даже в человеческом виде, но птичьими руками, куриными руками. Как бы ноги, но, блин. Ну, в общем, ты понял, это словно птичьи лапы.
Yeah, let's not make any rash decisions. We should give ourselves a minute, take a deep breath, and rash. The only rash decision we've made was running our cursed blade through her heart. This is far from rash. This is measured. This is the only thing left for us to do now that she's gone.
Итак, здесь я принимаю решение, и я говорю «нет».
Exactly. You're not doing this. All of you may have previously thought that my passions were too great to stifle, but those were merely passions of joy. My passions of sorrow run deeper than the ocean itself, and you'll find that they are far more unstiflable. Haven't you? Haven't you all? I don't believe this. What? What don't you believe? You plunge the blade into your own heart and collapse to the floor. You can't be serious. Why are you helping him? I'm not. He just made it happen. I'm sorry. That's right. You're all sorry. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Глава 3. Серость.
You're on a path in the woods. You horrid monster. Do you think just because we've returned to the woods you've earned my forgiveness? Our beloved had best be alive and well when we return to the cabin, or you'll never know the end of my wrath. She won't be alive and well when we return to that cabin, because she's dead. We killed her.
У нас добавился еще один голос.
You killed her, and so I killed you. And you clearly didn't do a good enough job. I'm still here. Oh, and I'm still here too.
Нас тут куча.
If you lot get to be blessed with seemingly eternal life, that must mean she's still there, waiting for us to throw ourselves at her feet in remorse.
I doubt it. I think I'm better at killing than you are.
So you've been here before. Of course you've been here before. What count is it this time? 2?
It's our third. What gave it away?
Your open discussions.
Очень хороший ироничный юмор на самом деле.
I couldn't care less what he knows. Every second we stand around arguing in the woods is a second that I'm anxiously worrying about her. Take us to the cabin and take us there now. With each passing moment, our relationship may be damaged even further, though I fear the rift between us may already be permanent.
And if it is permanent, then what? You'll kill us again?
Oh, you just wait and see. My vengeance will echo the depths of my bereavement.
Don't provoke him. I prefer if we didn't die again. I'm not fond of dying. Why not? You've already done it twice.
It was unpleasant.
It was only unpleasant because you think it's supposed to be unpleasant.
I'll make you feel what I feel if it's the last thing I do. And mark my words, you won't like it when it happens.
Oh, how exciting. I'd love to see you try.
Can I? Well, I'm not just going to try. I'm going to actually do it.
Бедный рассказчик пытался влезть.
I'm looking forward to it.
Good. I am too. Can I talk now?
Yes, I can. Great. Now that you're listening, let me remind you that if you're here in the woods, it means that the princess is not dead and that her very existence currently poses a direct threat to the entire world.
Но мы не в лесу. Так. Мы недостаточно поговорили о том, как это место изменилось. Оно не было другим в прошлый раз.
If this isn't the same path in the woods you're used to, that means that her influence is already spreading and you're running out of time.
Угу.
Wait. But if her influence is spreading, that means there's hope. That means our beloved is waiting up there for us, ready to make amends.
Yes, I already told you that she's alive. Don't mind him. I don't think he's doing too well.
Угу.
I'm doing better than any of you. I'm doing great. She's alive.
Influence doesn't require life. But if things restarted, why wouldn't she be alive? Who said they restarted? All they've done is changed.
I shan't listen to the vile mutterings of you serpents. Onward! Our living, breathing princess awaits us.
Так. Я здесь главный, и если мы снова убьем ее, ты не станешь заставлять нас убить себя. Я ясно выразился?
Oh, it's clear, you murderer. Though I should remind you that you're not as in charge as you seem to think you are.
I'm sure his outburst last time was just a fluke. I wouldn't worry about it. Besides, if he kills us again, he kills us again. It doesn't matter. He'll tire out eventually. The flame of passion always burns out in the end.
Spoken like a true cynic.
Enough bickering. Just stay focused and get to the cabin.
Ладно. Что бы ни случилось, дальше похоже, что все наши ответы находятся в хижине. Стоит довести дело до конца, пойти к хижине.
I'm sure you've already heard my words of warning in one of your past lives. You've already managed to slay her once, just don't muck it up this time, alright?
Oh,
Да.
we'll muck it up all right. We'll get our happy ending, even if it damns each and every person who's ever lived.
Whatever you do, don't let him influence a single decision. He's clearly lost it. I hate that I'm agreeing with him on anything, but
I really don't like being at the whims of someone so unstable. It's stressful. Yes, having all those feelings isn't very productive, is it? But we're just passengers here. Why stress over something you can't control? You're saying that like stress is just something you can turn off. It is. It's easy. Whatever happens, happens.
Это я двигаю мышкой, не обращай внимания.
Are you even alive? What's the point of doing anything if you're not going to feel a single emotion? I don't know. I just exist. And that's fine with me. This is horribly unproductive. The cabin and your extremely important destiny await.
Пройти в хижину.
The interior of the cabin feels dry and brittle. Ancient dust-covered wooden beams hold up a crumbling ceiling like mummified ribs, each elegantly carved detail of the stately building preserved in an extended stasis. Everything here has been kept safe and dry and lifeless. But you're not alone. You can feel something watching you. There is a figure faintly outlined against the dusty wood of the far wall. Is that her? Our beloved. So she does live. She doesn't look very alive to me. Before you can make a move, the figure is gone, vanishing behind the door on the far side of the room. The door at the end of the room, but there isn't a door, it's just that damn mirror again. Ah, yes, the mirror. So we can see the monster we've become. If it even lets us look before it vanishes too. The mirror? Is this some kind of joke? Did you all plan this out before dying? There is no mirror. There's the door to the basement, the table, and the pristine blade. Huh. That's strange. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade?
Что-то все больше идет не так, да?
Maybe it's gone because we've already killed her with it. Perhaps it's gone because an oh-so-deserved guilt has started to worm its way into each and every one of you. Perhaps all of you do feel just as bad as I about what we've done. Though if you felt the oppressive guilt I feel, we would have manifested that weapon directly into our heart.
Конечно, хорошо. Но эпичность музыки слишком потрясала.
I suppose it doesn't matter why the blade is gone, but you're going to have to find it if you're going to do this right. So why don't you march over to that door and make your way down to the basement?
Итак, приблизиться к зеркалу все-таки.
You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You must think you're looking at that mirror you mentioned earlier, the one that doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open the door. It's still so hazy. We should try and clean it off. Yes. Trying to touch it does seem to be the magic spell to get it out of our way.
Да, в прошлый раз оно исчезло, стоило нам начать его протирать. Вытереть
It's time
зеркало.
for all of you to see what we've become. You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. The handle is just a little to your right, and a little down. So much for our reflection. We didn't need to see ourselves anyway. I'm much more interested in seeing other things. I see. We are too hideous for even a mirror to behold. We can only hope she might still see some good in us. No way left to go but down.
Да, войти в подвал.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an antique staircase lit by weak torchlight. The air here is so stale it practically stands still, as if the very molecules of this place have been fossilized, trapped for eons until your arrival. Even the blaze of the torches can't penetrate the odorless air, as if they'd run out of fuel to burn ages ago, their light still flickering more out of habit than from adhering to a physical reality. A wispy figure watches you from the bottom of the stairs, face veiled in shadow. There she is again. My love. She's just an old memory. Your eyes lock for a brief moment, then she vanishes around the corner.
Итак. Ага. У меня нет оружия. Когда я пришел сюда, сверху для меня ничего не было.
Just tell her you're unarmed. Not that it matters, you receive no response. Do you think she's upset with us? I don't like being here unarmed after what happened last time. I feel so exposed. Of course she's livid, and with good reason. You aren't helping. Are you scared of a little ghost? What's she going to do? Look at us until we feel bad? She can look all she wants. It won't do anything.
Спуститься вниз по лестнице, да.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, her wrist still bound to the wall by a heavy chain. This cell is a dark and isolated place, with not so much as a window to allow starlight to penetrate the gloom. See? She's dead. No! What foul trickery is this? How can this be? We just saw her alive and well a moment ago, floating away transparently. Whatever we saw was a ghost. I thought we were all on the same page. Do try to keep up. Your thoughts are interrupted by the sound of a slamming door and a clicking lock.
Опять.
You turn to see the shade of the princess staring down at you from the top of the stairs, clutching a brightly burning torch. So that's where the blade is. It's already in her heart. And yet she isn't dead. She is dead. Have you never heard of a ghost before? Oh, for the love of... Can we not waste time arguing over the semantics of what is and isn't dead? She is clearly conscious. She clearly just slammed the door on you, and she clearly has a weapon. Your pristine blade sticking out of her chest. This is extremely bad. Catastrophic, even. Yet, dead or not, what are we supposed to do about her? Slaying, or destroying, if we want to be a little more death neutral, seems off the table. We make amends. She obviously still holds us in her heart. She's bearing a torch for us and everything.
Сожжет нас нахрен.
But she hasn't said anything. Are you sure she can talk like this?
You came back. I missed you.
Да ладно.
That angelic voice. I missed you too, my beloved. You sure snapped back to your old self quick. Yes. Seeing her dazzling countenance again has reignited the warmth in my heart.
This is a bad place. We're supposed to be together, but it keeps making us hurt each other.
The torch falls from the princess's hand and bounces down the stairs.
It'll be so much better when it's gone.
The skeletal wood of the basement, perfectly dry after uncountable years of desiccation, immediately catches fire. She's trying to kill us.
Да.
A misplaced escalation of her passions, but clearly she still cares for us. I say we burn with her.
Так. Варианты ответа. Броситься за клинком было бы, наверное, самое отличное. Но исследовать это значит, я еще могу поговорить с ней, получается. Да, блин, ситуация так. Выпусти меня, ты пытаешься меня убить?
Dying apart kept us apart. Dying together will keep us together.
Ага.
See? Everything's fine. She wants to be with us.
Все хорошо. Ага.
Yeah, in a bad way. She just has a unique way of expressing things. The fire grows quickly, devouring the basement, dancing up. We've never burned to death before. I wonder how it's going to feel. Bad. I bet it'll feel really, really bad. Yes, it will be terrible, so you'd better come up with something to do and fast.
Your personal safety is far from the only thing she's threatening right now.
I think a bit of fiery passion is good for the world. You're just trying to spoil her fun.
I'm not spoiling anything. I'm trying to prevent oblivion.
Итак, нет уж общаться с ней, я понял, броситься за клинком.
As you rush up the stairs towards the princess, the entire cabin erupts into a raging inferno. You push through the flames, trying to ignore the choking hot air filling your lungs, and manage to reach her, your hand wrapping around the hilt of the blade. But the metal is already blistering hot. Your hand sizzles as it melts on contact. You can't so much as pull away, your nerves seizing up as they're fried, the bones of your hand fusing in place around the weapon.
Какой ужас.
The princess, smiling warmly as her skin bubbles away, places her hand on yours and clutches it to her chest. The pain is unbearable at first. Every inch of you screams as your flesh is stripped away, your muscles stiffening as they're cooked, your blood boiling in your veins. But it isn't long before the flames take your nerves, and with them, your ability to feel much of anything. See? That wasn't so bad. It was so bad. But somehow, the nothing is so much worse. You'll get used to it.
There are still the feelings of the heart. Those never go away.
Oh, they always do in the end. You just haven't experienced enough. Eventually you'll want them to stop too. You'll make them stop. Trust me. The princess's smile never fades. Her skin peels away, and then her muscle, until all you can see is her charring skull, locked in an eternal grin.
It's very romantic, really. We got our happy ending after all. We can die happy.
Я, кстати, еще одну ачивку получил. Но, несмотря на все твои усилия, ты не умираешь, а она исчезает. Что-то забрало ее, но оставило нечто другое на ее месте.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Итак, какие у нас варианты? Да, рассказчик исчез. Ни малейшее представление, где здесь ее искать. Кажется, я должен взглянуть в зеркало. Подойти к зеркалу я просто подойду к
I'm
нему.
begging you, don't do this.
Не слушать его, просто подходим уже, мать его, наконец-то. Ты подходишь к зеркалу.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final.
Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt, right?
Ignore the cowards. You have to look.
Голоса кажутся маленькими, далекими по ходу твоего приближения. Посмотреть на свое отражение. Приблизившись, ты слышишь лишь тишину. Голоса ушли, зеркало осталось, время узнать, что в нем. О, получил еще ачивку. Это ты. Ты остался один в пустом пространстве, здесь тихо. Пойти в хижину. Кстати, вот я двигаю мышкой. Но я там какой-то непонятный, да? Ты около хижины. Приблизиться к ней. Ты узнаешь присутствие, что наполняет оболочку. Это существо, что обитает в пустоте.
Something returns to the long quiet. It has surrendered its path of annihilation and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
А. Хрупкий сосуд в подарок — это, видимо, я. А, сколько всего узнать. Ты существо, которое встретил в пространстве за лесом, не так ли? Мне казалось, это был сон.
Vague recollections, empty tunnels without a mouth. I am sorry if I frightened you.
Так, хрупкий сосуд в подарок. Это, видимо, я.
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the world's
А нет,
beyond.
она.
Perspectives
Принцесса,
to make
хрупкий
my
сосуд.
own. This one is passion betrayed, but even in the end, her love never faded. She will make for a bright heart. Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose.
Так, что это такое?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
Одинокий свет? Что ты имеешь в виду?
Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
Кто я, по твоему мнению?
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
Ты знаешь рассказчика?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
Это ты прислала меня убить принцессу? Это ты держишь меня здесь?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
Угу. Тебе известно о мирах за гранью этого места?
I know only that they are.
Это конец света?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
Ты принцесса?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
Угу. Но ты всегда была принцессой, или ты только что сделала ее частью себя?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Хорошо. Можно атаковать или уничтожить свое тело. Тоже очень интересные варианты ответа, блин. И нам надо что-то выбрать. Ладно, надо решать. Уничтожить свое тело. Ты собираешь свою волю, чтобы покончить с жизнью, но когда она погружается в пространство, где должно быть твое тело, ты ничего не чувствуешь. Одна из множества рук перед тобой протягивается вперед и нежно касается твоего лица.
There's nowhere for you to be but here.
Что будет теперь?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Ты не боишься, что я найду способ убить тебя?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
Как много частей тебя мне нужно найти?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
Насколько много я забуду?
Everything. Until we meet again.
И что будет, если я не позволю тебе сделать это со мной?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished. Dry. Hollow.
Меня прислали убить принцессу, чтобы не дать ей уничтожить мир. Если я помогу тебе, ты сделаешь это?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
Ага. Ты не ответила на вопрос, что ты сделаешь, если я помогу тебе.
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
Я не вернусь обратно ждать или... Ладно, заставь меня забыть.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Все погружается в темноту, и ты умираешь. Ну и там жестоко было, что принцесса попросила сделать так, чтобы ее я помнил. Но эта сущность вообще такая не вспомнишь. Глава 1. Герой и принцесса.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Да, итак, я тут включил Steam Overlay. Значит, я также получил достижение «Сжечь дом», «Сгореть от руки призрачного духа», посмотрелся в зеркало и получил достижение «The Body», «Тело», это ты, и получил достижение «Сгоревший сосуд» или «Пылающий сосуд», я с английского смотрю. Принести, в общем, bring the burned grey to here. Ну, извини, как мог, прочитал, хрен с ним. Вот. Ну, что ж. На самом деле, я сильно ошибся, когда вначале говорил, что это будут быстрые прохождения. Вот, как я считал. Вначале игра. Все эти круги, лупы, они гораздо дольше, чем я рассчитывал, и предстоит еще достаточное количество узнать и попробовать. Что ж, ну, может, и не такое достаточное. Я надеюсь, тебе было интересно узнать остальные вещи, или попробовать самому, или принять другие решения в тех моментах, что у меня уже были. Ты можешь сам, игра недорогая, и, напоминаю, русификатор ты можешь найти в руководствах. То есть заходишь центр там по игре и найдешь. Там, скачаешь, заменишь файлы, как видишь, все отлично работает. Что ж, несмотря на то, что игра более специфична, чем, ну, стандартная, как нам привычная визуальная новелла, я надеюсь, тебе было все-таки интересно посмотреть. Это вот такой необычный проект, и в следующий раз мы перейдем к чему-то более событийному для просмотра и восприятия. Вот. А для себя я тоже могу сказать, что я еще поиграю, прохожу с разными вариантами. Тем более я сделал несколько записей, пока проходил для канала. Что ж, если что, комментарий для обратной связи открыт. Приходи еще, я действительно буду рад. Пока.